Hi, Heidi. This is Amy, and I just got done reading your post for week 2, and great job. I really connected with a lot of them, and one, I think it was your aha moment became my aha moment. But let's start at the top. You started with one of the strategies that you suggested was to greet the students at the classroom door. And I really like that one. In fact, in last month's class, we had to talk about different strategies. And one of my classmates had talked about the morning greeting. And she said one of the barriers of the morning greeting at the door is that sometimes the children would be late, or especially on Mondays, just their absence. So we talked about it, and I said, well, what if you made the morning greeting or, at the door unique? You know, dress up, wear funny hats, make up a song, make up a handshake, do some type of fun things to make it something that nobody wants to miss. And we really went off of that idea, and I tried it a couple times, and the kids, I don't really have a set time. I'm in the learning center, so my groups come to me at different times, but I do have a group that have a lot of different personalities. And I did start meeting them at the door on Monday, and it really changed the vibe of our class. So besides just you're greeting this at the door, do you do anything that something unique? Do you do a handshake, or do you just say hi, give them a quick hey, how's your day going? Because any way you decide to go, it's got to be great for the kids, especially eighth graders, because like you said, their moods change from one class to the next class for sure. But I really did enjoy that strategy. I enjoy working on it with my own students. And like you said, it just, it builds a bond between you and the kids. You have a chance to get the chit chat out of the way, um, get the vibe for how they're feeling, and then you get to start your class. And then the next one is the use of frequent praise, both verbal and nonverbal. Sometimes, when my students are doing something, I'll have to say, I'm like, can you tell I'm smiling? And they said, oh, Miss Amy, when you smile, your eyes kind of get small and your mask puffs out because their cheeks. So now it's kind of a game. Let's catch Miss Amy smiling under the mask. So, and they love when you look at them and you just kind of give them that nod, even under a face mask, they know. Sometimes the nonverbal ones, it's a special little secret between you and the student you're praising. But obviously, when they hear that they're doing well, it not only makes them happy, but it snaps the other ones into attention. Like, hey, I want that high five. I want a good job too. And then you see more hands being raised, and you see more engagement. And even as adults, we love to be recognized. We love praise, and it's free. Like I said in another post, compassion is free. Well, so is praise. It doesn't cost us anything to take that second to say, you know what, you did a really good job. And I'm going to talk about Rita Pearson, and I'm going to kind of use the one example for two different strategies of yours. But showing praise, I don't know if you read or if you watched her videos, but when she talked about the little boy who had the math test and he did terrible, he only got 2 right. And instead of putting that big red fat F on his paper, she put a big red smiley face, and he came up and he's like, well, Miss Pearson, isn't this an F? And she goes, it sure is, but you got 2 right. And that praise, I mean, just imagine how he felt. He was probably so defeated, knowing he didn't do well on the test, but instead he got a little bit of praise. He got to celebrate the 2 that he got right. So that praise goes a long way for sure. The next one, you and me both, our tone of voice. Sometimes I'm in such a hurry. I have 15 million things going on at once that I need to say something, and I need to say it quick. I don't make eye contact. I sound like I'm barking, not so much to the children, but to my coworkers. I'm barking orders, and that's the last thing I mean to do. So if I'm doing it like that, I know that when I was younger and I just started working in classrooms, I was told, Amy, your tone is not so pleasant. So that is something that I've worked very, very hard on. I do have that tone, In fact, my daughter, who is 26 years old and lives across the country and is a chiropractor, called me a couple weeks ago and she said, Mom, say it. Say, Amelia, enough. Say it like you're mad at me. And I said, well, give me a minute. And I have to think of something you did. And so I'm on speakerphone with her colleagues. And I did this and I could hear laughter in the background. And they're like, oh my goodness, you're right. And she said that I have such a tone that it can stop you dead in your tracks. So, that's something we always have to work on. And I'm glad that your tone, the old Heidi, did not come out, and you were able to de-escalate and regulate your emotions and keep your tone where it needed to be. I know when you have things on the whiteboard and they get erased because you put the time in, it's maddening. It can be maddening and you're like, oh my gosh, I did all this work. So yes, good thing you were able to take your deep breath and calm down. The next one, showing interest in your students' lives. Very, very good strategy to have. I was just wondering, besides asking them about what they're interested in, what other ways do you use to show interest? I haven't done it this year, but I like to send home a piece of construction paper. They can pick the color, and then the families can make a picture collage of their family. And then I hang them in the room just to kind of, and then of course I have pictures of Piper. I have more pictures of Piper, my chocolate lab, than I do of my children. But but there's a connection then, and they get to, they can tell us about their families. And sometimes you notice when they're not having the best day, you just kind of find their own family hanging on the wall, and it just brings them comfort. And it also, we can come up and say, hey, tell me what's going on in this picture. You look really happy in that picture. And that's just a really great way to show interest. And I was just wondering what you do, if you have any suggestions. And then, I want to go back up to the tone really quick. And another quote from Rita Pearson, if we're always mean and our tone is just to scare them to comply, Rita Pearson said, kids don't learn from people they don't like. And if they don't like our tone because all we sound is nasty, mean, and we're like, do this and that, well, they're going to shut us out. So I wanted to talk to you. I just wanted to mention that too, because I just absolutely love Rita Pearson. And then finally, your aha moment was the subtext. That's a great strategy. And I think I need to work on it. And we need to always continue to take that minute to look at our students, find what maybe what's really happening. Children don't want to be bad. They don't want to misbehave, but sometimes they have no outlet. They're not taught to have an outlet, and so we need to really be aware of our students and how they are doing and find out what is actually happening and what's driving the behavior. So I love how you said you needed to reframe the situation and know that take yourself out of the equation. They're not misbehaving to drive me crazy, to drive you crazy, but is it a cry for help? Let's figure this out. And so with that, I just really want to thank you for such an interesting post. You have a lot of good strategies, some that I'm going to work on and continue working on. And I'm going to keep up my fun greetings at the door. And I'm not as consistent, but it keeps the kids on their toes too, because when I call them to get to class, they get over a lot faster thinking that I'm going to do something fun. So Heidi, good luck with the rest of your class, and I hope to see you soon. And again, I really enjoyed your post. Thanks, Heidi. Have a good one.